Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. So, before we get into this, I just want to say that our little audience member here, I don't know, he's a little hot, I guess, a little testy. Got the ceiling fan on, got the air on, and it's only 64 degrees outside right now as we're filming, so he should be more than comfortable, but he's not. Either way, if you hear him panting, I do apologize, but he's comfortable. I'm not kicking him off the bed. So, with all of that out of the way, what are we here to do today? We are here to talk about all of the makeup items that I am going to be saying goodbye to, parting ways with from my collection. These are mostly dud products in my opinion, like either the formula or maybe not so much a dud product because it's like, well, I don't enjoy the shade, but maybe it's a shade that would work for you know what I mean? So I just thought it would be fun to sit down, show you what I'm going to get rid of and leave from my collection. I did already film like an eyeshadow palette declutter. I think you'll see that first, so I'll have that linked just in case that you missed it. And then I am doing a palettes on the chopping block, and I'm sure that come December there will maybe be some more products that I'm like, ooh, I want to get rid of you too. But these are just the ones that I've found now that I just don't enjoy and don't want to hang on to. So in no particular order, let's just go over what is in this basket. Okay, so let's first talk about two eyeshadow primers that I'm going to let leave my collection. So this first one is from CoverGirl. This is the Lid Lockup Eyeshadow Primer. This was something that I had purchased this year. This does come and it has like the little dofa applicator. I really enjoyed this type of application for eyeshadow primer. I feel like it makes it a little bit more hands-free, less messy, and it like feels a little bit more sanitary because it's just the dofa. So like I just apply this directly to my eyelids and then put it back down in there like I'm not touching it with my fingers. But either way, specifically with this product, this pills, like you put it on, and I thought at first it was because I was setting my eyeshadow primer and that's the reason it was like pilling up. And it kind of like, I don't know, it's like old expired yogurt, like it curdles, you know what I mean? Which is really gross. But so I thought it was because I was setting my eyeshadow primer. So I stopped doing that. I would put this on my lids. I would give it like a little bit of time, like maybe a minute to kind of sit there, just chill out before I would go in with eyeshadow. But even without setting it and giving it that time to set down itself, going in and putting eyeshadow on top of this, it still just kind of pilled up and like flaked away. It was really unpleasant to work with, so I don't recommend this. I feel like CoverGirl, where they shine is really specifically with mascaras and base products. Now, I guess this would be a base product, but I mean more like primers and foundations. So either way, the other eyeshadow primer that I'm going to say goodbye to, this is from Sugar Drizzle. So I purchased this when I purchased the Frosty Flamingo palette. This is in the shade Pound Cake. So this was supposed to be a more like yellow base type eyeshadow primer. And it was one of those where, so you put it on and it would kind of like make your eyeshadows a little bit more warm tone, we will say. I never really found that to be the case. This really just kind of matched my skin tone, you know, kind of. I mean, I have more of like a neutral to cool undertone, but this is, like you can tell, like it's just kind of like a lighter shade. So I have used a good bit of this. This product has settled. So I am like right here as far as, you know, amount of use on this. I did enjoy this as far as an eyeshadow primer goes. The reason I'm letting go of it is because the last few times that I used it, I really experienced a lot of burning and itching and wateriness with my eyes. Now, part of that might have been that it was just allergy season, but I really just don't want to fuss and mess around with it. You know what I mean? Like, we are quickly heading into the fall, so my allergies, they tend to clear up like mid-August into now. And so the last time I pulled this out was about a week ago, and I haven't been having any like allergy symptoms, and I still experienced that. So I do think that for whatever reason, this particular product has went off and expired. It doesn't have like a smell to it. The consistency didn't change or anything like that. I just noticed that my eyes are reacting to it differently than how they were reacting to it when I first purchased it. Alright, keeping in the vein of eye products, let's talk about a mascara. So this is from Ilia, and the like writing on the bottom of this is too small for me to read. This was part of the birthday gift from Sephora this year, so that's how I obtained it. This mascara, I just don't enjoy it. This wand, oh my goodness, this wand is huge. Like every time I use it, I always get mascara transfer up onto my upper lid. I just don't enjoy that. I'm not going to fuss with that. And then the formula of this, it's weird. Like it's a really wet feeling formula, but then as you go to apply it to your eyes, it almost feels really dry. And so I feel like you have to go back in with so many layers of this in order to get it to you know, just apply like a nice even coat to your lashes. It's just not something that I enjoy, and I feel like I hear so many people rave about this mascara in particular, but it just wasn't one that I enjoyed. So I'm really glad that I got to try it out like in the birthday set for free before like spending money on it, because it was a mascara that I did have on my wish list. So then I do have an eyebrow product, which eyebrow, you can see where my brain was going when I pulled this out of the bin. Either way, this is from Wet n Wild. So this is their retractable brow pencil, and I have mine in the shade Taupe. This, I thought, you know, let's get this, let's, you know, have this on hand for like a day when you just want to do your brows really quickly. So this is a pencil that has more of that like triangular head shape, as opposed to like how some eyebrow pencils, you know, kind of have the same shape as like an eyeliner pencil. So I don't mind that. Like, I think the triangle shape can be really helpful in order to really map out and draw on your eyebrows a bit more successfully. The color of this though is far too light for me, and typically I do buy mine in a taupe shade. I really do enjoy that color, but this one is more of like a light blonde shade. And then the formula of this is super stiff and super tuggy. I'm not lying to you guys when I say the last time that I used this and I was trying to draw on an eyebrow, I ripped out like 3 eyebrow hairs, and I don't have eyebrow hairs to spare, okay? There's not that many there. But using this, I did, like, it's so tuggy, it ripped out eyebrow hairs. So I don't have time to fool with that in my life. If you've been looking at that, been eyeing that Wet n Wild product, just keep on passing by it, because it's not worth it. All right, let's talk about a base product. So I have this from Urban Decay. This is the Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. Medium coverage, up to 24-hour wear, tinted moisturizer. What a name. So I have mine in the shade 20 Fair. I feel like this is a really good shade match for me. So when I bought this last year, summer last year, this is sitting at like a little bit over a year old right now. I remember really enjoying this. This was true, like it is a medium coverage type of tinted moisturizer. Like I really did enjoy this. I remember loving the way that it wore on my skin. And then I tucked it away and pulled out like more full coverage foundations and was using those in the winter. So when summer rolled back around this year, I figured like, let's pull this out. Let's use this. And for whatever reason, I just don't enjoy it now. I don't think that this is expired. It does have a 12-month shelf life according to the back of the product, but the consistency hasn't changed. The formula hasn't changed. It doesn't have a weird smell, and I never had like a reaction to it when I would wear it. It's just, I don't know. I didn't like the way that it wore. I felt like it did not sink into my skin. I felt like it just sat there on top of it no matter what I did, what types of products that I used with it, be it primers or different sprays, yada, yada, yada. I just never really felt like I enjoyed this. I felt like you could tell that I was wearing makeup. You know what I mean? So it's just not something that I want to hang on to or try to finish off. I think I've used up probably about a little over half of the bottle, but I am more than fine decluttering that and getting it out of my life. All right, so a bronzer that I'm saying goodbye to. This is from ABH. This is their cream bronzer. I believe this launched at the beginning of the year. So this is the shade Sunkissed. Now, you guys can tell, like, I have used this product. I really tried to get it to work for me. So I think Sunkissed is the lightest shade that they offer within this line. And so if I swatch it out, maybe you can see, I feel like it's supposed to be like a neutral bronzer, like a neutral shade, which is typically what I go for, is neutral types of shades. But this just pulls really warm and kind of olivey on my skin. I feel like it just doesn't look right. It doesn't wear right. And I've tried a multitude of ways to get this to work. Like I've tried a variety of different brushes. I've tried, you know, going in with less product versus more product and all of these other different things. And yeah, I'm never happy with the way that my makeup looks when I have this on, because even though it does say it's neutral, it's very much more of like an olivey warm shade in my opinion. Okay, so let's talk about some highlighters. So the first one, I have a Super Shock highlighter from ColourPop. This is in the shade Beeline. I don't remember what collection this was released with, but this was before the Winnie the Pooh collection, and that piece of information is relevant. So if I could open this. Okay, this is what Beeline looks like. It's just a nice like gold shadow. It's a nice gold shade. I don't know why I want to keep calling this a shadow. But anyway, I bought this because I really did want like a nice cream golden highlighter. And so this one is pretty, but it's always been a little bit too dark. Like I have to be very careful when using this. And then they launched their Winnie the Pooh collection, And so it was the shade 100 Acre Wood, if I'm not mistaken, the middle shade that they had in their trio. That shade is the perfect golden highlighter that I wanted from ColourPop. So now that I have that, I'm more than fine decluttering this. But this is actually like really nice. It's the same quality, the same good formula. I really enjoy the Super Shock highlighters from ColourPop. It just boils down to that this color is a little bit too dark for me in order for me to get it to work. Alright, so some powdered highlighters that I'm going to say goodbye to. This is from BH Cosmetics. This was part of their brunch collection. I think this launched specifically with the Mimosa palette. So this is the Froze highlighter palette. I really think that objectively this is super pretty. The packaging is super reflective though. So you get a lot of like really pretty pinky type pinky type highlighters within this palette. Now, let's be honest, Haley's probably never going to use this shade because it's kind of like a weird gray base shade. And then this one, while it's a really pretty pink shade, it's just too dark for me. So these four are what I was really excited about. But these highlighters are just super icy and not even like in a good way. Like I feel like the Becca highlighters were always a little bit more on the icy side, but they kind of like blended in seamlessly to your makeup. You know what I mean? I feel like these highlighters are a little bit chunky and they just kind of like sit there and they look like a stripe on your skin. You know what I mean? So I've just never really like enjoyed them, but they are like, I mean, they're pretty impactful. You know, I'm just going to swatch those top three for you. Like, but you can see, like, you're going to see that from space. You know what I mean? But like I said, it just, they sit on top of your skin. Like I just, no matter what brush I used or like how I tried to apply them, like I never really fell in love with them. Alright, so we're going to wrap up this video talking about 4 blush products that I'm saying goodbye to. So the first are 2 cream blushes from Rare Beauty. These are the little minis. I think one year I got a mini set from Rare Beauty for the birthday gift from Sephora. And then I believe holiday last year, they had a set of cream blushes. And I think you got 3 within the set. So I really do enjoy the formula of these. I think that they wear beautifully. They blend out nicely. This is more just a shade preference for me personally. So this top one is the more pinky one, which is the shade Adore. And then the one underneath this is a little bit lighter and it's the shade Bliss. I just don't really enjoy the colors of these. Like they're too light for what I want from a cream blush. So I do want to pass these along. I do have 2 other ones from Rare Beauty. One on the more orangey side and then one that's a little bit more of like a darker pink. And I just enjoy those a bit more. I don't know the shades off the top of my head. I think Peace is the orangey one. But either way, those are nice. They're just not a color for me. So then I'm also going to declutter this cream blush from Fenty Beauty. So this is in the shade Summertime Wine. If I can open this up. This is a really pretty shade. It kind of like matches the color of my shirt almost. It's just like a really nice like burgundy plummy type blush shade. Really pretty once I swatch that out on my hand, if you can even see that. I'm not sure. But either way, so the shade of this is really pretty. It's just far too dark for what I want in a cream blush. I really prefer like oranges and corals and light pinks as far as blushes go. So it's just not something that I find myself wanting to use or gravitate towards. But the formula of those Fenty Beauty cream products are really nice. I have a bronzer from them. I finished off another blush from them earlier this year. I would be interested in adding more cream blushes from their line into my collection. Just trying to be a bit more like picky about what shade I pick up. Okay, so then the last product to talk about is a powdered blush. So this is from Nabla. This is one of their skin glazing. I guess it's a blush. I don't know. I feel like the highlighters are also called skin glazing, right? So this one very much though is a blush. This is in the shade Independence. And much like with the Fenty Beauty cream blush, this is just far too dark for what I want out of a blush. This is like one of those dark pinky kind of brown blushes. And I feel like every time I use this, no matter if I try to go in with the lightest hand possible, it's just always too dark and too stark on my face. And I can't successfully like blend it out and get it to work for me. So while the formula of this, again, is really nice, and I do like the Nabla products that I have tried, eyeshadow palettes and face products too, that just isn't a shade that I like. So that wraps it up for this declutter video. That is everything that is leaving my makeup collection currently. I don't know if at the end of the year I'll have like another declutter video. If I find things that, you know, again, just aren't working for me, then of course I'll get rid of them, maybe put them back in this basket so that we can film another video, but I'm not making any promises. So that is it. I thank you so much for sticking around to the end, for hanging out with me and the puppy. And I hope you're having a good day, a good night, or a good whatever. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.